Welcome back to Hold My Bev podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Park. Here with me today, as always, the vacation man, DTF. Dylan, how's it going?
Going well. It's 24 hours till I'm on the beach. Can't wait. It's Friday. We got the Browns tonight against the Commanders. Um, Going into a good long week on the beach. I will be in airplane mode. So if you need me, don't not you because you'll need me for my dogs, but
Yeah.
anybody else don't need me. Brandon, what's going on with you?
Not a whole lot. Since the last episode, me and you, we went to the Football Hall of Fame game. Um, that was a very interesting venue.
Is
I
it
thought.
yeah? Go.
Yeah, you go with it. We had some really annoying drunk lady behind us. I'm all for it if you're into the game, but at least don't be a moron and keep dropping your water and not even realizing it. But hey, you guys secured a free water bottle that wasn't even open.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that was funny.
But it was cool being able to, be there for the first snap of the preseason football season. They showed Joe Thomas, Darrell Revis. Um, I didn't really see Aaron Rodgers, but it was cool watching it on Hard Knocks this week.
Yeah.
I decided to get HBO or not HBO Max anymore, it's just Max.
Max.
Yeah, I decided to get Max again just to watch Hard Knocks. Actually went back and rewatched all the Browns ones. That one
It's
was
on HBO.
no, it was on YouTube.
Oh, I was gonna say because they only have the two recent seasons.
Yeah, I want to dig into the Cardinals one, even though I heard the Cardinals one wasn't as good as the Lions.
Yeah, it's okay. It's more or less just JJ Watt's farewell. The Colts 2 seasons ago was really good mid-season. I think the Cowboys was the training camp 2 years ago, but the Lions was a great one. But I first episode of the Jets I sent to you, I was like Jets to the Super Bowl. Like that was really like seeing Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner got me so hyped that they're gonna just ball out this year. I am not a New York fan at all, but Aaron Rodgers just brings something to that team that they're all pumped up to go.
Oh
It's
yeah.
gonna be it's gonna be a fun team to watch and probably bet on this year a lot.
Well, shit, even Zach Wilson looks excited.
Yeah, because he doesn't have to play.
Yeah, he doesn't have to play, and I mean, he didn't get cut.
Nope.
Basically, whenever Rodgers retires, it's his team.
Yeah, and I mean, learning from Rodgers is going to help. I mean, Jordan Love's already showing tremendous strides in the training camp, which he was behind Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers was behind Brett Favre. So it's kind of a trickle effect. So maybe Zach Wilson will come out okay after all this is over with.
Yeah, and I think the whole drama, I don't think Rodgers really would have minded, but Rodgers was coming off an MVP season. I think it was more or less the fact that they traded up to get Jordan Love that kind of made it all like, what the hell's going on here? Like, I get it from that standpoint, but I
Yeah.
don't think it would have been nearly as big of a deal if it was, like Rodgers has one more year left on his contract or some sort of thing like that. But because Green Bay kind of seemed like it was going to be a disaster at one point.
Yeah.
I still think
But
they're
they
not going to
can
be that good, but I don't think they're going to be
Packers.
horrible.
Nah, but I do think that Christian Watson will be a sleeper pick in the draft because I think aside from Dobbs, he doesn't have a lot of weapons right now. So
Mhm.
we'll see that young connection develop over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of the Packers, it looks like the Devontae Adams, former Packer, uh, had to be helped off the field today after taking a hard hit and wasn't able to walk.
Oh, great. Didn't they, who they practice with? The 49ers?
I believe so.
Yeah, because I read that Brock Purdy threw 3 interceptions to the Raiders defense.
Oh, good. Sam Darnold wins that job then probably.
I think that's the plan. I think that you'll have Darnold start week one, kind of like they did. No, they didn't do in Carolina. They had Baker Mayfield,
Yeah.
which that's also a crazy story right now that's going around is the Buccaneers depth chart. This is a big storyline in the Hold My Bev podcast world. Is Dylan going to have to get the Baker Mayfield jersey if he's named the starter? Right now, the depth chart shows QB1, Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask. We do not have a decided quarterback yet, which means I do not have my Baker jersey yet.
You know damn well
I
they
might be
give Baker
I
that
might
week
be
one
safe.
starter.
Huh?
I bet they give Baker that week one starter job.
I think so too, just for the, glitz and the glam of his name.
It's
But
just hope. I mean, you still got Chris Godwin and Mike Evans there. I mean, you got to make use of them, or you might as well trade them.
yeah, I mean, I read yesterday that it was a what if. It was a what if New York traded for Mike Evans, and not that I think they should, but adding Mike Evans over all your old veterans like not really Lazard, but Randall Cobb, they just picked up, and they could swap out somebody else too. I mean, if you had Garrett Wilson and Mike Evans, that's actually really dangerous.
Oh, that'd be beyond dangerous. That would be awesome with Aaron Rodgers throwing a deep ball to Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Shit, dude. That'd be insane. But
Oh yeah.
a lot has happened since we last recorded. We finally got the Kamara suspension. Uh, Ended up being a little bit more than I thought it was going to be.
What did it end up being the whole season?
Nope, only the first 3 games.
Oh,
So I think that's kind of surprising that, I mean, granted, he kind of had a slightly down year last season. Um, Granted, I think a lot of it was just a lot happening within that whole organization. Um, but I think that he's going to be a sleeper pick in fantasy this year.
yeah. He'll slip.
I think he could end up being a solid, flex, bench option. I wouldn't have him as my starting running back, but
No.
let's see. The Cowboys, did you see this news?
What's that?
The Cowboys have decided to extend their hookers. Malik Hooker signs a 3-year extension with Dallas.
There you go. I did see that, but I wanted to hear you say it.
Yeah. Let's see. We got that crazy picture from Carson Wentz of him wearing his Eagles helmet, Commanders practice jersey, and then Colts shorts.
Build the worst quarterback.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Do you think that he would be the best backup in the NFL if a team signed him?
No.
Do you think he would be one of the best?
No. I don't think he's a good quarterback.
Okay, that's fair.
I've never believed in Carson Wentz.
Not even that MVP type season that he had?
No.
Or do you think that was just all a fluke? Because, I mean, obviously they still went to the Super Bowl and they won without him.
Yeah, because he had big Dick Nick, but I don't necessarily think, I don't know. I don't want to get into it too much about him, but I just never been a fan, and I knew he was gonna be a bust. I knew when he went to the Colts that wasn't gonna work out. Commanders was like already dead in the water, not gonna work out. I'm actually really excited for the Commanders with who they have at quarterback, and I liked Taylor Heineke better than Carson Wentz last year. So
Yeah.
when you get benched to him or injured and he's out there thriving, it's kind of hard to come back.
Yeah, that is true. I'm definitely excited for Sam Howell. It sounds like he's going to be the starting quarterback for them, which I thought they might give it to Jacoby and kind of do the transition halfway through the season. But I don't know. I thought Howell looked pretty good last year, the little bit that he got to play.
Yeah. Who's starting tonight for them?
I believe Jacoby.
That'll be cool to see him
Nice.
play.
It's gonna be nice seeing him tonight. The game will already be done when this comes out, but
Yeah.
yeah, we're recording this the day of, actually a couple hours before the game starts.
Yep. And you're going.
I am going. That's why I'm wearing my Deshaun jersey, because he's going to be playing the first drive or so.
Hopefully he doesn't throw a pick in the first 2 passes like CJ Stroud last night.
Yeah, that wasn't too good.
My dad was over helping me with something, and I go, "Oh, we got to turn the game on. CJ Stroud's playing." I'm like, "That's Davis Mills. Where's CJ Stroud?"
Yeah, apparently he had 4 attempts, 2 complete passes, and 1 interception.
And he got sacked, I think.
Yep, he did.
Welcome to the league.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really get a large sample size, but I thought it was kind of a weird move to pull him that quick.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, let him play through his mistakes. That's what the preseason's about.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Did you notice that during the game late last night? Actually, I didn't even see the stat line. I was looking for Smith and Jigba. Did he not play?
No, he played.
Because I didn't see no stats. Let me actually pull that up.
It didn't look
I was
like he
curious. They
played a
won.
ton, but he played.
Yeah, he had 3 receptions for 25 yards. So, I mean, he was at least getting targeted, but I feel like Jake Bobo was the name of the night for them.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Lock had 2 touchdowns. He actually looked decent.
Yeah, I saw some tweets saying that the Buccaneers should trade for him.
Oh, God. I don't
Yeah,
know what's
I'm
worse.
not sure
Having
if I'm there whether I would have Drew Lock over Baker Mayfield.
No, that's a really bad quarterback room.
Yeah,
Drew Lock, Kyle Trask, and Baker Mayfield.
yeah, that's.
Obviously, you would trade one of them out, but I'm just saying.
And I don't even know if you could trade him. I think you'd have to just pay him for practice squad. Josh
Yeah.
Rosen, one of them. Um, but yeah, we still had some more that happened. We had some happy huntings from Cleveland. Our former safety, John Johnson III, returned back to the Rams on a 1-year deal. And then it sounds like Kareem Hunt's going to be signing with either the Saints or the Colts, even though he
I
left
would.
both those places without a deal. But he was close to
Yeah.
signing with the Saints. And then, did you hear the story behind that?
How the Colts offered more money?
They said, don't sign that paper yet. Come visit us real quick. Didn't give him the money.
Oh, I gotcha.
So I don't know if that offer's still on the table for the Saints, or if they're just gonna say F it, let's just go with Jamal, even though he's not really a 4 down back or a 3 down back.
I mean, I'd like Jamal a lot. I thought
I
he had a
do
really
too.
good,
I don't
he
I
had a
don't know
great
if I
season.
I don't know if I like him as a 3 down back though. I think he's more of those like, you know, he'll take two, he'll do 2 plays, 3 plays or so, but I don't think he consistently could do it.
Hmm.
Because he
Yep.
definitely plays like more like a true like I don't want to necessarily call him a power back, but
I feel like he played more than Swift last year.
well, Swift was hurt a lot last year too.
Huh?
Swift was hurt a lot last year too.
Not really though, because I had him on my fantasy team, and I don't remember him missing any much of the season.
And that's fair.
But Jamal Williams also had I think he had the most touchdowns in the league.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, he's
He
a
had
good
what,
red
like
zone back.
16, I think.
Something because I think he tied or broke a record. I think he tied Barry Sanders' record. Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm. Which is nuts. Even you wouldn't really think Jamal Williams would be breaking that kind of record, but
Yeah.
let's see what else happened this week. Uh Today or yesterday, we got a crazy story from the 49ers. Apparently they were very close and Phillip Rivers. And
Yeah.
there were talks. It basically got confirmed over the weekend that Phillip Rivers was prepared to come and play the Super Bowl if the 49ers were to beat the Eagles. Which we heard this about Big Ben too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that they had him ready to come in and, you only got one game, just give us your all.
Yeah, but how does that work? I feel like when
I,
you go
I
into
don't know if I would want that.
well, not even want it. How does that work when you go to the postseason? There's not a guaranteed slotted in postseason roster with 3 quarterbacks or 2 quarterbacks, and then if all 2 or all 3 go down, you're just screwed. I mean, look at postseason baseball. Your roster is locked in.
Yeah.
If you lose all your starting pitchers, you're down to whoever can fill in. I don't think you can just call someone off the streets and be like, "Hey, Tom Brady, you want to come play in the Super Bowl tomorrow?" Like, because anybody would do that. Tom Brady would come and fill in for anybody next year.
Yeah.
I feel like there's got to be a catch there.
Yeah, I don't really know what like that. I didn't think because I thought it was a roster lock, like you said. So that kind of threw me off when that happened. I mean, it came right from Kyle Shanahan. Um, I don't really know how that would work out, like I don't know if it was because they were down so many quarterbacks that the NFL would allow them to sign one more if they had so many people on injury reserved or what it was.
I don't know, but all I do know is when the Broncos lost all three quarterbacks to COVID, they forced a receiver to play quarterback. But when who was it? The Ravens?
Yeah.
When they were down quarterbacks, didn't they postpone the game?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
It was
was
against us too, wasn't it?
it was against us. I remember it
Bullshit.
all too well. Um, so I know you watched the Johnny Manziel documentary.
Sure did.
I want to know your thoughts because I think we have two very different thoughts about it.
I miss Johnny. I just miss college football, Johnny. That era of college football was so much fun. Like I know it's still fun, but we're coming off of the Tim Tebow days, which we're gonna get that in a couple weeks. You're moving on to the Johnny Manziel days, the peak Alabama days. Ohio State's just about to win their first. Well, I'm sorry, they're about to win a national championship with Zeke and the boys. I just forgot about how fucking good he was, and Mike Evans and how good he was, and all the freaking lies we were told of. Oh, he's wealthy, oil money, this and that. No, they just completely bamboozled all of us.
Yeah, to think, okay, so to think that this was all happening when the Manti Te'o shit was happening too.
Yeah,
So the how much better our press has gotten in that way on picking up shit like that is mind-boggling because today's world, there's no way
well,
they'd be able to get away with that.
and that was only like 11 years ago.
Yeah,
Not much has changed in that long of a time.
it doesn't feel like it, but apparently our press coverage has.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I think it's crazy that he was able to get away with that.
I know.
But do you feel bad at all for him?
Of course, I feel bad. I mean, well, no, I don't.
No,
I mean,
I was gonna say I don't at all.
there's a part of me that thinks like if he truly has a problem, I do feel bad. But it's like you get through the whole sob story about how he has problems and he didn't really want to do school. He was just there to party. He wouldn't do any film. He just wanted to play football and party. He went to rehab, did this, did that, and then he ends the documentary drinking a beer. So
I
it's like the
started
dude,
off drinking a beer and smoking a blunt or a
the
joint.
dude's not changed. There is no change. Johnny Manziel is Johnny Manziel. So I I don't feel bad, but like I said, if there was a part of him that there really was something wrong, like I've been diagnosed bipolar, and you know, did he actually really try to kill himself, or was that just for the documentary?
I
I
don't know
mean,
because they kind of just brushed right over it.
yeah,
That's the part that I was kind of like,
I feel like it's
I don't
clickbait.
want to call him a liar, but
I just feel like it was
like we would have
clickbait.
talked about that a little bit more, and
Because that was posted on Twitter like a week before the documentary dropped. So
yeah,
that was a big selling point for people to watch, was to be like, oh, he's going to tell his side of the story about what happened. And I'll be honest with you, I had to replay it because I didn't even hear him talk about the suicide attempt. Like,
It
didn't
was
even missed it.
the very end.
Yeah, completely missed it.
It's bogus.
It's getting dark in here. Hold on.
I see that.
I think there's a thunderstorm coming.
Really?
Yeah, I just heard thunder outside and it scared the dogs. Yeah, it's dark out.
But anyways, I don't really feel that bad about Johnny Manziel. Do I wish things could be different with him? Yes. I mean, I have his jersey autographed, so I'm not gonna say that I'm not a fan. It kind of sucked knowing that he didn't look at the playbook at all, not once while he was in Cleveland.
Yeah. Well, he didn't watch
The
film.
fact that he said he went,
I mean, I laughed. I actually laughed out loud. I mean, he's got to watch something.
imagine absolutely not giving a fuck that much.
I know.
Like I don't I just don't I don't know. Maybe it's
But there's
just
also some players who just know ball. I mean, he said he didn't watch film. That doesn't mean he doesn't know the plays.
right.
You call the play, he knows it in his head, or he's going to try to scramble around and, oh, look at who's open, or, oh, I'm going to take off and run. Obviously, the NFL is a little different from college football. We've seen it with anybody who's come to the league, and there's always that welcome to the league moment when you try to do your shifty shit from college. I just don't think he realized how different it was going to be from college. And the structure, I mean, he said the minute he walked into like the practices and stuff, he's like, it wasn't the same and this and that. It's because, no, dude, this is a fucking business. This isn't a bunch of guys who are trying to make a name for themselves. These are a bunch of dudes making hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars. It's just different.
To attack you and, get that ball from you.
Yeah. But I do have a question, though. Do you think his mindset and do you think his career would have been different had he gone to the Cowboys like people thought he was going to?
No.
You think he'd be saying
Honestly, if anything, I would think it would have been 10 times worse. Because think he would have had a lot bigger media coverage.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be right at home. So he would be absolutely going out every night.
Yeah.
He already was famous in all the clubs. Now he's the Dallas Cowboys quarterback. Like, I think it would have been 10 times worse for him. Cleveland, at least it was like even like he said, it was his condo was like his safe place. I don't know.
Well, I feel like getting picked to Cleveland was kind of a humbling experience.
Yeah.
But the fact that we traded up to get him.
And we got peer pressured into it.
We were better off with Brian Hoyer.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I definitely was one of the fans that was like, oh yeah, get Johnny Manziel.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was really excited.
He was exciting. He was exciting.
He was Money Manziel.
And I was at a point with the Browns where it's like, okay, you're really not giving me anything to watch. Like, at least let's take a shot on this dude.
Yeah.
But wasn't the right dude, his game wasn't the professional game. Obviously there's some quarterbacks that do a lot better in college than the NFL game, and he's just one of those guys.
Yep. Tim Tebow too,
exactly. But I even thought Tim Tebow was better than that.
Yeah, Tim Tebow was, I mean, he was a stand-up guy, and he had morals at least.
Yeah, that is true. Well, in other big news, we did have that Jose Ramirez fight. Even though I think it was a while ago, but
down goes Anderson.
Down goes Anderson. Do you think fighting should be allowed in baseball?
So,
or any
for a brief moment, I felt like it was so choreographed like a hockey fight because the the umpire was in between the two of them, and then he just backed up and like let him do it. And I'm like, whoa, are we doing this now?
Mm-hmm.
Are the umpires just letting them fight it out?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think they were gonna get suspended for a minute. I'm like, I haven't heard anything about any kind of suspension yet. Like,
I just can't believe Jose got suspended less.
Oh, I don't. he wasn't the first one to throw. He wasn't the one that started it all. I mean, he opened his mouth, but
Right.
Tim Anderson's the one that, you know, was the one that threw down the glove and put his hands up. In Jose's defense, someone puts your hands up, of course you're gonna fucking go at him too.
What did Klose do to get suspended a game?
So I found this out afterwards. I did not know there was a second part of that fight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was a whole separate fight that happened like 2 minutes after.
Huh.
Classe fought someone. I think it was one of the managers or something like that.
Wow.
Which sucks because I wish they were playing the White Sox one more time this year. And I think they're done for the season playing them.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Are we out of the race for the playoffs?
Not yet. I don't believe so.
That's all right. My Rays are gonna.
In my opinion, we are, but
I think my Rays will get the wild card spot, and the Rays will go all the way.
yeah, technically we're only 3.5 games behind.
Still got Rays Braves World Series. Baltimore just got hot at the right time.
Yeah. Well, they can't beat the Rays. Did you hear about that announcer?
Yeah,
I think that's bogus.
I've done my research, and I couldn't believe that the guy got suspended because of him saying the facts that they've not won since 2017 in Trop. It's like, what did he say that was wrong?
So apparently
So I'm
that
glad-
suspension was all from the front office.
Yeah, it was the owner, which
Yeah.
I've heard the owner is a major douchebag. So, MLB, the teams, the other reporters, everybody was backing him up so much that he was pressured to let the guy come back. So he did.
Good. I actually didn't even
Yeah.
hear that he came back yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought that was bullshit that he got suspended for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't think he did anything bad. Shit, I've heard Cleveland people talk worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, much worse.
But we also know we're bad, and we wear it on our sleeve.
Mm-hmm. Like when I was rewatching Hard Knocks about the Browns, literally it shows a clip of Jim Donovan saying something about coming out after the Super Bowl. He's like, "Well, I hope I'm around for that for the Browns."
Yeah.
I'm like if that was like if we had Baltimore's owner, like that wouldn't happen.
No. Nope.
No. And then just one last thing that I want to talk about on this one because we got to get going. Actually, two more. Did you see the Titans' plans for their?
Yeah, the thing looks like a PlayStation.
Yeah, that thing looks sick. It's supposed to come out in 2027. It looks sick. It looks like an upgraded version of the Raiders' new stadium.
Yeah, everybody's gonna just be whose dick is bigger from now on, which a stadium's a stadium in my opinion. It doesn't have to be crazy fancy. We're going to watch football, but if you make the game day experience better, where people can come a couple hours before and enjoy themselves or bring their kids, and the kids can do stuff, that's what it's all about. So whatever you can do to make things better.
Yeah.
I don't think Tennessee is a place that needed a dome, though. I think you still need to look at the Clevelands, the Buffaloes, the Pittsburghs, but our northern teams aren't budging on building those domes.
No, because it kind of gives them an advantage.
Yep.
Not so much the fans at advantage, but
Nope. It's very cold.
yeah, very, very cool. But one last thing that I wanted to talk about. Oh no, never mind. Two more things. Oregon and Washington moving to the Big Ten coming soon. And then Arizona to the Big 12. What do you think about Ohio State having to go to Oregon and Washington if you were a college athlete?
It's only cool for football and basketball. Imagine being a fucking tennis player, and on a Wednesday night, you got to go to Oregon for a tennis match to then come back and have to do life again. I mean, that's a part of part of being a student athlete is traveling, but they build these conferences to be more, resourceful for the student athletes to where it's not traveling across the country. And how about our carbon footprint, anybody? Not to get liberal on anybody, but it's like I thought we were trying to prevent flying planes all over the country or flying or driving buses all across the country. And then what about the school? What about the schooling? Now we're gonna just say to hell with our homework and our classes because you're gonna have to miss more classes to travel across the country to go to Oregon from Ohio State or Rutgers. Rutgers is coast to coast to Oregon.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's even worse for Oregon than Washington.
Yeah, because they
I
have to
mean, think,
travel.
think, other than Washington, your games are all on the East Coast. You're gonna constantly be on a plane.
Yeah, you're gonna start to see probably something in the future where it's like 2024 all home games, 2025 all road games, and then they're just traveling. But it'll never happen like that because you can't go a year without any home
Well,
revenue.
they
But
they have no choice other than to be like all online. The students,
mhm,
like I don't see how that's possible.
it's gonna
I
suck.
get having the one matchup. The one matchup, that's a week.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah,
That's cool. But
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. I'm not a huge fan of it yet. We'll see how they work it out. I mean, they have to have gotten a plan together if they decided to go through with it. So
Yeah, and it's not going to happen for another, what, 2 years or so. But that I feel like that definitely has to hurt recruiting.
yeah,
I mean, think because there's a good amount of student athletes that go to certain schools so their family can come watch or,
oh yeah,
they're closer to family. If you go to Oregon and you're having to fly out to Indiana, like, your parents aren't going to be able to go watch that.
yeah.
Maybe, but I doubt it. Unless you get that deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
Who the hell knows? And then last thing finally, Barstool is now fully owned by Dave Portnoy again.
The pirate ship is back.
Yes. Yes. Um did you see how much he sold it? He bought it for?
$1.
$1.
Yeah.
Which apparently they decided to sell it to him because of they're going to be working with ESPN on their new betting site, which
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, pretty excited about, at least to see what it is. Still probably going to be a FanDuel guy or BetJack. I occasionally go in there every here and there. Um, but apparently, Penn Entertainment's still going to get 50% of all sales from
I saw
Barstool.
that.
So they turned it more into an investment rather than an ownership, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
What would that be considered? A partnership then?
Yeah. Somewhat.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking about that today and I'm like, well, would that be a partnership or would that
Like a
just,
silent partnership. I don't know.
I mean, 50% of all sales, that's a pretty big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but how do you feel about that? Are you excited about it because of the censorship being taken away or?
Yes and no. I mean, I I was just listening to Pardon My Take yesterday on Wednesday, and they're talking about it, and even they said like, what's really changing from our show now in the last 2 or 3 years that this has been going on, and they're like, come to think of it, not much is really changing. They said like a couple things that they were gonna do they couldn't do because it was like advertising like drug use. And even now when they like advertise their 3 Chi, they're like, "Oh, we're not drug guys," but then they still have episodes where they talk about when they used to smoke pot or something.
They talk
So I
about
don't
it
know.
damn near every episode. I mean,
Huh?
PFT literally talks about smoking all the time.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. I was actually just listening to the Amon Ron St. Brown episode. I just finished the Matt Olson one.
Oh, I love that. That was a good interview.
Yeah, Matt Wilson's a funny guy. I never would have expected.
Yeah,
He just sounds like your average 30-year-old baseball player.
I know.
But yeah, other than that, Dylan, you have anything you want to say? I know you were talking about some bets.
Yeah, so if you're gonna bet this weekend on the preseason games, if you're a psychopath, I do want to point out my favorite and my underdog. Obviously, this is coming out probably tomorrow, so can't really talk about tonight's bets. But if I was to pick anybody for tonight, I would pick the Denver Broncos favorite because they're playing the Cardinals, who suck. They couldn't even get a playoff correctly in their training camp in one of the videos I saw. Plus, they got their starters starting, so Russell Wilson will be playing a little bit. They might get a couple points off on the board early. But going into tomorrow, so going into Saturday's games, I like for my underdog, I have the Eagles over the Ravens. And for my favorite, I have the New Orleans Saints over the Chiefs, which is still mind-boggling that the Chiefs are underdogs in any situation, but they didn't have a crazy draft. I think the Saints are building and they look good. And they probably will have Jameis starting, won't they? So Jameis playing in a preseason game is probably good for them. But other than that, make sure to gamble responsibly and call 1-800-GAMBLER if you have an issue.
Peace.
Peace.